Hello there. Welcome from the Caribbean beaches. Not really. I wish I were there. My name's Brenda Delsky, and I am the CNA coordinator right now, and I am an instructor for the CNA program. I'm glad that you were able to join us, and I just wanted to give you some information so that you can be prepared in what we expect when your student is planning to attend with us. KCC, hopefully we will be able to have classes at the Battle Creek Central campus. We have to have a certain amount of students enrolled in order to actually do it on the campus. What we do expect from our students is we expect 100% attendance. Their classes will be Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we want them to make a commitment to do this. The state of Michigan requires a certain number of hours. And in order to do that, they have to be committed and want to be successful in this program. Requirements for them, they do need to have a TB test. And we're working on getting that kind of stuff taken care of, hopefully right there at Battle Creek Central. They also will need a flu shot by the time they go to clinicals, if it's during October to March 31st. They also, we are requiring, and actually it's the facilities that are requiring them to get a COVID vaccine and actually get both COVID vaccine and their booster. They would need those immunizations before. Our packets that we send home with you guys have the hepatitis B vaccine form in there. That is not required. Typically, most of the students this age are already hepatitis B vaccinated. But if they aren't, that's not an issue. They can just sign the declination form. So those are the immunizations that they would need. With that, they can dual enroll as a high school student. By dual enrolling, they also would have to take the AccuPlacer test, and a good portion of the students have already done that. They would make sure that they're talking to their counselor. And so they have a packet. There's like 15 pages in the packet that the parents also have to sign. So everything that the student signs, the parent also, we want you to sign that. We verify that they're at a local address so that they show that they're residents. And then once all that stuff is sent in through the counselor, and like I said, you know, we're hoping to work through getting like the flu vaccine and the TB test and that kind of stuff with Grace Health. So Angie Bess is working with that. So then once they get that done, then Angie and our admissions people are working, and they would register your student. And it is at no cost because it's dual enrollment. Now, what that does is that makes them, if they go through and they pass, they have 3 exams when they are in the CNA class. And those exams, they have to pass with a 75%. And once they do that, if they also have labs. Part of the class is lecture. The first couple of weeks are pretty intense lectures. That's why it's very imperative that they come to the class and they have attendance, because when they miss a lot of information that is very important. And then once we get through parts of lecture, then we start integrating the labs into the class. So not only have we taught them how to do things, then we also put those into practice so that they learn how to do it hands-on. So then they have 24, or they end up with 24 and a half hours of actual clinical time, and that will be toward the very end of their class and the program that they have. We stretch that out because their class is only a couple of blocks long. I think Dina said that it was like during 6th and 8th block. So it's a weird schedule, but we try and work with them. If they don't have enough students and we have to have them come over to the high school, then the high school works with them, and they usually will come over. Like the afternoon class usually runs like 12 to 2:15 or something like that. So that, we'll get to that when the time comes. They have to have a textbook, which is provided when they're dually enrolled. We suggest they have a highlighter and a 3-ring binder to put their syllabus in, and black pens. And then when it comes time for clinicals, they have to have a uniform, and that uniform is covered by the college dual enrollment program that they would be in. So pretty much they literally are going in without having to worry about paying anything. The nice thing is, once those students pass their class, they are eligible to take the Michigan State Certified Nurse Aide test. So once they test, then that makes them even more employable. Right now, the CNAs are having amazing sign-on bonuses. The CNAs are in very high demand. So it can be a really helpful and employable area. We do want the students, of course, to get an ID badge, and we'll work with them to get that. If you've got a flyer that your student brought home, it shows all the different things that are included on what we expect them to get by the time class comes. But that 15-page packet is imperative to have. I am a teacher, I'm a nurse, and I have 37 years of nursing under my belt. And I really love teaching and helping the students. It's amazing what these students, are able to do, and how they just change and just start getting the information. It's exciting for me. It's just something that when the students' light bulbs go on, it's thrilling to know that they're getting what I'm saying and they like it. And it's kind of scary at first, but yeah, it's pretty fun. So I just want to know if you guys have any questions. What can I answer?
And I think we just have our staff and Battle Creek Public staff, so we don't have any parents asking questions at this time.
Okay. All right. I also wanted to give you some information about what a CNA does. We will teach the students how to take blood pressures, pulses, all the vital signs that they would need. We teach them how to ambulate or walk with the patient safely. We teach them how to transfer a patient from bed to chair or wheelchair to bed. We teach them how to care for the patient, how to feed the patient, to shave a patient, to all of the things we do to care for a patient. We're going to teach your students how to do that. They're going to be very employable as a certified nurse aide or just a nurse aide. They can work in a nursing home. They can work in a hospital. They can work for a home care agency. There's all kinds of different avenues that they can go into. But they will learn these different skills in our class. And like I said, we do the labs. Our class is 34 hours, and then our lab is 16 and a half hours. And so literally we are able to put into practice all of the skills that they learn. And literally, we teach them a lot, and that is why the attendance is so important. Any other issues or things that I need to go over?
I think you handled most of it. Dina, do you have anything to add from the Battle Creek Central classroom perspective?
Just that there will be supports for your student from the high school. So with the exception of the clinical hours, they will be doing all of their lecture and their practice right there in the lab. So they'll have academic support and other support of our high school staff while they're enrolled in the program.
Awesome.
Great, thank you. So
Thank
all
you.
of you that are watching this recorded, my name is Angie Bess, and I am the manager of dual enrollment and early college at KCC. So Brenda and Dina talked a little bit about what to expect as far as the option in the classroom. And just to kind of reiterate, this is available to your student because they are currently part of the Health and Human Services Career Academy at Battle Creek Public Schools, and they are in the nursing 21st century program. So that 21st century is what puts them in line to be able to enroll in the certified nurse aide program with KCC. This will be offered second semester. If Brenda, you said that, I apologize. Second semester of their senior year. So next spring, our spring semester starts in January. So it would be the second semester of senior year. It will coincide with their high school schedule, as we mentioned. And when the seniors are done, they will also be done. So they're not going to be expected to stay all the way until the end of the school year because of this course. So we will run it based on the senior schedule. So there are a couple of enrollment things that I want to make sure that parents and students both know about. We did talk to some of the students on Monday that were there in the classroom, but I'm going to share my screen. I think I have the ability to do that. Nope, the host has disabled that. So I'm not going to share it unless Clark, you can grant me that real quick.
Yep, 2 seconds.
Thank you. And once I share my screen, just to kind of show you guys what it's about, Brenda mentioned that there was a packet. There we go. Awesome. Thank you, Clark. A packet. Can everyone see this? Awesome. Okay, so this packet, Mrs. Waterman she has these at her desk and available to students. These are required for high school students that are taking the CNA program because there are some extra things that we have to make sure are happening and signed off on if the student is A, still in high school, and B, under the age of 18. So if your student or the student is under 18, then there is parental or guardian sign off that has to happen. So I'm going to quickly scroll through this. Basically what it's saying is that you know that your student is going to be taking this. They are going to be in a clinical setting. They have to sign off on the HIPAA and those different regulations that come with being in a clinical setting in a healthcare field. So because if they are not 18, basically what that does is the parent just approves that they are aware and the parent is also aware. So Ms. Hollins from Battle Creek Central will help complete the counselor recommendation form. And then emergency contact, clearly if something were to happen while they were at a clinical site or on KCC's campus, we want to make sure while they're in the lab, for any reason, that we have the emergency contact information if needed. And then there's also compliance statements that have to be done mainly because of the lab and the clinical sites as well. Talks about the code of conduct and so that students understand it. Reviews over the standards of the classroom and what the classroom expectations are, and then meeting what we call the Bruin standards for KCC. And then finally, there's information just, saying that they understand that they have to meet all of the certain regulations, and then goes into the required vaccinations. Now, the Hep B, hepatitis B form, this is, you can waive this right. So even if the student has had their hepatitis B vaccinations, those typically happen when they are a young child, and not everybody has proof of that. They can either waive the right if you can do that, or if they haven't been vaccinated for Hep B, that right can also be waived. This form, these 10 pages of this form have to be completed in full before we are able to actually register the student. So again, those are available in Mrs. Waterman's class. She has those. We will not need this information until probably November or so of next year. But we want to make sure that we got that information shared out and was available to students in the meantime, so that if there were any questions, that we would have those. Also, Brenda mentioned the AccuPlacer or placement. We do have almost all of the students, I think all but one, that are enrolled in the course at the high school have already applied to KCC, and they have taken care of that. And then their next step is to do their address verification, which again, Ms. Hollins has been great, and she has already supplied me most of that information for almost all the students, as long as it has matched what the high school has on file, as long as what was provided on the KCC application matched, we are good. And then again, like I said, the AccuPlacer, we've had quite a few students already take it. We're going to be offering a couple more sessions at the end of April, where we'll be coming to the high school for students to retake or take AccuPlacer if they have not. They are required to have, I believe it's a 22 or higher reading score on the AccuPlacer in order to enroll. So we will work with students. Mrs. Waterman is working with them and has provided some material if they need to retake, that they can study and practice if their scores do not meet that. But those are a pretty strict, hard deadline, or hard line of, as far as they have to qualify to be able to take that course. So anybody who does is able to have this option. It's not mandatory, but we encourage it. And the more students that we have enrolled, the better opportunity we have to be able to offer that right on site at the high school in the health lab. So I think that kind of sums up. Again, KCC, I will be on site, or my counterpart, Tamika Reese, who your students have already all met. Due to AccuPlacer testing, we'll be there to help support them and help guide them through the enrollment process. With Battle Creek Central and Ms. Hollins, she's been a great help in already helping getting students to where they need to be in the event that they are wanting or willing to enroll in this class. And again, as I already mentioned, we have next fall to think more about it and get enrollment confirmed. So at this point, I think that is all that I have as well. Dina, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to what parents may need to know?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Okay, so I think at this point we are good to stop recording.